And we are off. Looks like their timers are slightly separated, or no, it looks like IMtendo might just be dropping some frames. Ooh, that's interesting. It looks like there might be a slight discrepancy between the load times for these two players. It's interesting. Even if both players are playing on digital, there is a load difference depending on whether or not you have the game installed to your SD card or to the Switch main memory. The main memory game will load faster, and it does make a difference over the course of the run. But with the level of skill that we're seeing, I don't think it's going to end up being all that important. Both of them making a beeline for the stairs. Oh, it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on. We're getting, so there we go. We were just getting it set up so the two of them are lined up on the screen. So as you can tell, these two are extremely close to each other. Both of them summoning the bridge just about the same time, having a great ascent up those stairs. And now we enter the frog room, which is pretty short, but it also can be pretty tricky. Navigating this water, sometimes you try to skip across and sometimes you fall straight in. Looks like both of them are doing a great job, as I would expect. I'm sure at this point they have probably done this specific kingdom well over 500 times each, so it's going to be practiced down to a T. Oh, JKB, he's going to start off by going for the cap tower skip, and so is IMtendo. JKB gets the skip, IMtendo gets the skip. That is awesome. We are going to see two extremely good speedruns here. Both of them just pulled off an extremely difficult skip, saving each of them about 3 seconds. Looks like JKB has a small lead, but that can disappear in an instant. So, and there you go. Only a couple of seconds separating these two. I will get an exact number as soon as a good mile marker appears on the screen. Looks like about 4 seconds separating these two, which in a game that takes over an hour to complete is basically nothing. So now we are off to the Cascade Kingdom, which is the first proper kingdom where you start getting power moons. And this is where we're going to see one of the game's most popular skips, one of the earliest skips, but a very big skip nonetheless. Ooh, IMtendo having a little bit of trouble getting this chain chomp lined up correctly to crack open this moon rock. Manages to get it the next try. Well, that's a little bit of a benefit for JKB. Now right here, crossing this bridge is something that is a little bit tricky to do quickly. I mean, even if you cross the bridge slowly, it only loses you a second or so, but it is something that is worth practicing if you want to speed yourself up. JKB very quickly making his way to the dinosaur. Let's see how well he pulls this skip off. And looks like he's got it no problem at all. So JKB now enters the boss fight with the Mama Brutal. This particular boss fight, he is going to try and shorten the amount of time it takes to pull the golden chain chomp to the edge to absolutely 0, which he's doing there very nicely, and sort of stalling his cap and getting the hats off of the chain chomp as quickly as possible. And then, yes, very nice fight from JKB. Looks like IMtendo is doing the same trick, and it's going rather well. Basically, after you knock the hat off of this chain chomp, there is a certain... Oh no! Oh no, IMtendo misses the jump, and he loses a little bit of time. And so, this is the trouble with this fight, is this chain chomp, you have to pull the chain out as far as you can, as quickly as you can, in order to minimize the amount of time that Mama Brutal chases you, And you also cannot get yourself pressed up against a wall, because if you are, the Chain Chomp simply will not do damage to Mama Brutal. It just won't be pulled back. So JKB, excellent fight there. IMtendo still had a very good fight with one small mishap, which is unfortunate, but it's nothing unrecoverable. And JKB, he is going for the very last moon in the kingdom, gets up there wonderfully. We could get that moon a little bit earlier, but it is faster to get it here at the end. And JKB, he is on his way out of the Cap Kingdom. IMtendo just about to be the same. I'm going to get a quick measurement of how far apart these two are in a couple of seconds. They're roughly 1 moon apart, which honestly doesn't mean much of anything because a moon can take far longer in some kingdoms than others. So let's see what kind of measurement we're dealing with here. It looks like they are separated right now by about 25 seconds, which is kind of a surprisingly large lead, but again, it's a very long run, and this lead can disappear pretty much in seconds. In literal seconds. Take a bonk in the wrong place, you fall into a pit, 40 seconds are gone just like that. So anyway, it looks like JKB is now entering the Sand Kingdom, and this is always a very interesting kingdom to watch because it involves a lot of possible routes, all of which are pretty close to each other time-wise, and it involves potentially a very large skip, one that really is the one thing in this game that can very clearly be defined as a developer unintended glitch. And we'll see if JKB or IMtendo can pull it off. I suspect both of them will try at least once, but I don't know for sure. IMtendo, looks like he's going to be trying the same strat that JKB is. He's going to jump up this fountain here, and there we go. He's got the moon from the top of the tower. JKB quickly searches the dune and manages to find the moon on his second try. So far, it looks like they're using the same route. JKB does it. Oh, he made it. Oh, that was a little bit scary. That icicle, it can be pretty picky. If you get it just right, then, you glide over the top of it and it's all butter. If you don't, you can lose a few seconds trying to get your way back on top, because there aren't really any great backup strats. You just sort of have to try again. See if IMtendo can pull it off a little faster. Also having a little bit of trouble, but I think he did make this a little faster. JKB, meantime, he makes his way up here and he's going to try and save this bullet. And he does so very nicely. It can be difficult to keep that particular bullet alive. Ooh, IMtendo trying a totally different strat. Something extremely fast. Can he do it? Oh no, he can't quite pull it off. That is unfortunate. He ran out of time. What he was trying to do was use his hat to cap teleport his way up onto a bullet and save himself a lot of time because he doesn't have to climb the icicle. But it didn't quite work out, so he does have to climb the icicle. That is not a big time loss, and he still gets up there pretty fast and uses this bullet to fly his way over to this tower. Meanwhile, JKB on the left, he is not trying the Sphinx skip, he's just going to walk right into the Sphinx. Which is fair, because Sphinx skip can be extremely difficult, and if you keep trying at it, you could lose a lot of time. Well, just walking into the Sphinx is the easiest thing ever. But now he's got to make sure that he does this next part very quickly, and because if he screws it up, he could miss out on the Oasis bird, which is holding one of the critical quick power moons. IMtendo also not trying the Sphinx skip, which again is fair, very difficult to pull off. Both of them grabbing the moon, and it looks like they're grabbing a nice handful of coins as well. Those coins are going to be very important later in the run, because we're going to need a total of 200 in order to pick up all of the moons we need. So now both of them in a race against time to get to the oasis before the bird disappears. But it looks like both of them are making perfectly good time. Yep, JKB gets the Jaxie skip first try. Excellently done. IMtendo, hopefully he has the same luck. Climbs those stairs very nicely. JKV, he takes an alternate route across the poison pond, which is a little faster but also a little bit more dangerous. You have to be sure of your footing or else you're falling into the poison, and that is a very big time waster. IMtendo having a little trouble with the bullet, it looks like, but he's perfectly back on track. And JKV has made it to the oasis with time to spare, knocks out the bird, and here he is getting the final 2 moons. 10:42 to go. He is making excellent time, let me tell you. IMtendo here taking the other way around the poison pond, the way that is much less likely to lead to horrible poison death. Uh-oh. No. Get into... Oh, there we go. Couldn't tell if he had moved the cactus or not. He had a little trouble pounding the cactus. Well, JKB, he gets the boosh at 11:10. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he did manage to get the bird. He was in a little bit of an awkward position, but he can jump up to it just fine. So now both of them are basically done with the Sand Kingdom. And here there's a fork in the road, but everyone goes to the Lake Kingdom first because it's the default selection, and because for the Wooded Kingdom you need a certain number of coins, so it's never really a good idea to go to the Wooded Kingdom first. So now JKB is starting his kingdom. It looks like the 2 runners are roughly 40 seconds apart. JKB here is going to throw his hat and try and climb this giant wall, and he does so without any trouble. He's going to use his hat to home in on this zipper. If you shake your motion controls, your hat will home in on nearby attackable, breakable, or otherwise capturable objects, so that means you don't have to worry too much about accuracy. And now JKB starts the fish phase. He's going to pick up a couple more moons here. IMtendo trying the same strats. It looks like he got a little bit faster moon right there. Here, the JKB, this is a very interesting moon, I think in particular, because as far as I know, this is the only moon where you can freely move the camera during the cap-get cutscene. I don't know of any other moons that let you do that. Ooh, and the JKB has a very nice cheap skip. He doesn't even have to do the bounce off the wall. He knows the exact spacing he needs in order to just jump up and be able to directly jump onto the ledge. So that saves... Oh, ooh, ow. Oh, and unfortunately the JKB, he misses a hit on Rango, the brutal boss, and so he loses a few seconds there, but he's still having a very nice Lake Kingdom. Let's go ahead and see IMtendo's attempt at this cheap skip. Is he gonna bounce off the wall? Or no, it looks like... No, he did bounce off the wall. I can't see. There you go. He gets up it pretty easily, and now let's check out this Rango boss fight. Looks like he's... Oh, there we go. Very nice boss fight from IMtendo. No flaws detected. So great work from him. That will catch him up a little bit of time, I think. Remember, this is done over the long haul, so... If you see a lead on one screen right now, it means close to nothing. JKB is on his way out. You get to see all this Japanese text on the screen. In case you're wondering why the racers are racing with the Japanese language on, it is because Over the course of displaying text over the entire game, the Japanese text displays faster and it saves about 15 seconds over the course of the entire run over English. And at this time, it is the fastest language we've tried. So we're going to get a time from IMtendo. Looks like they're separated by about 37 seconds. JKB heading into the Wooded Kingdom. He is not going for the rabbit first. First, he's breaking open this rock. Usually I see people go for this rabbit first, those little mips. Oh wow, he gets that rabbit pretty much immediately. That was a very nice moon get. If you don't know what you're doing, that rabbit can troll you and chase you around that rock for ages. It can be a pretty volatile moon to get, so good on him for getting that so quickly. Meanwhile, JKB just bought his first moon. That is 100 of the 200 coins that he needs. IMtendo taking his shot at the rabbit, and he gets it in very short order. That was a good rabbit. Used his hat to knock it out and slow it down a little bit first. JKB cracking open the nut. It looks like he bonked against the wall, but that's not a big deal. So now, IMtendo also buying a moon. Looks like both of them have more than enough coins. Oh, JKB, he is actually going to have to pick up a few. It looks like he failed to get the chest on top of the Jaxi ruins. Alright, and so now, yep, JKB, he is going into the water. He is doing what I feel is one of the most difficult parts of this run, is getting through this water section quickly and without taking damage. It requires some extreme precision. I've never been able to pull this off. He is having no trouble getting to this first moon. Now let's check out how he pulls off this second moon, because this is really, really difficult. Oh, and he takes some damage from fuzzies, but that might be to his advantage. He can damage boost through the other fuzzies and make his way up easily to that moon and save a water cycle. So all in all, that was a very good water tunnel, whatever you would call it. Now we get to see IMtendo try the same thing as JKB climbs his way up this wall. Uh-oh. Alright, looks like he got through that first moon pretty quickly, efficiently. Meanwhile, JKB, he is grabbing his nut here in the maze, and we get to see how he pulls off the next part. IMtendo not electing to go for the difficult strat. He's waiting for that water to come up. Takes a little bit of damage from fuzzies. JKB, meanwhile, is on a tear over here. Uses a triple jump to easily kill a piranha plant. Oh, he has a little bit of trouble here with this jump. Oh, that's cost him a little bit of time. But otherwise, he breaks open that nut pretty efficiently. That nut is a difficult one to crack, because you have to make such a high jump. It's intended for you to use an uproot to break it. But if you backflip up to it, you can get yourself caught between the nut and the wall. Then if you use your motion controls to do some spin attacks, you can break it open quite quickly. Thank you, Pokemon Nerd. I am glad somebody caught that. Oop, JKB, he's giving his backup attempt at a very difficult skip. And he manages to do it. Very nicely done, JKB. The fastest strat for doing that requires some completely absurd momentum gain, in my opinion. You have to do some jump cancels, and I've never even tried it, let alone pulled it off. Well, IMtendo is now in the same position to try that skip if he wants to, while JKB starts climbing the tower of something. It's a tower of something. It's a tower of nuts. There's a nut. So JKB, he's got one more tower to collect in this area, and he does so very nicely, managing to jump out of the uproot to get the height he needs. IMtendo also pulls off the difficult P-switchless skip. A very nice job for him. Yep, that was excellent from IMtendo. And now JKB, he's going to get the final 3 moons from fighting Spirit. Oh, and he mistimes his jump. and that is going to lose him some undetermined amount of seconds, but he recovers pretty quickly from it. It looks like he is trying the more difficult strat of jumping on Spewart to take his hat off. If you mess up your timing on this, or even your spacing on this, then you will pass just in front of Spewart, just behind Spewart, and you will almost always take damage. Mostly clean fight from JKB, but that is an area where IMtendo can pick up a little bit of time if he is good. And as we know, both of these players are very good. So IMtendo going into the battle uses his hat to take off the first hat, which is probably the quickest because you start so far away from Spewart. And the final hit. Very nice. Pretty much a perfect Spewart fight from IMtendo, so that is some time made up for him. Good for him. Looking at JKB Bushing at about 2051. Why do you keep saying IMtendo when it's clearly IMtendo? Because I follow the Geneva Convention rules on capitalization, which says that in any series of multiple capitalized letters, each one must be spelled out individually, or else it is a crime against humanity. Seriously though, it makes no difference to me. Anyway, JKB gets out of there. IMtendo finishing up the kingdom. JKB now has to go against the first really major boss fight against Bowser. And this is a fight that it's a pretty simple fight in the game, but it requires some difficult tricks if you want to perform it as fast as possible. JKB gets the first cap very quickly, hopping above it and grabbing it as soon as it is possible to get. That is a nice time save. Oh, he misses the second hat, though. He's going to have to try this again. Meanwhile, the runners are separated by about 47 seconds at this point. Oh, and he fails the second one. Oh, he is having trouble with his hat. If you hit this hat too close and you don't get it right away, Bowser will just grab the hat for himself, and you're going to have to try another time. So IMtendo, he has a great opportunity to make up some ground here against JKB. IMtendo, he gets a very nice first hat. JKB gets... Oh no! Oh no! Oh goodness, JKB, he pulled the trick off incorrectly and he soft-locked himself. So now what he's going to have to do, he is going to have to save, reload the save, and start the fight over again. Oh goodness, that is a big time loss for him. That's very unfortunate. It puts these two runners much closer together. So IMtendo now has a great chance to take the lead, which it looks like he's taken advantage of. He had a very slick and easy Bowser fight. Finishing off Bowser at 23-20. Just taking some notes here. I can measure how far apart these two runners are. See, this is just what I was talking about, which is that these two positions, these runs can change in an instant due to any number of things. JKB is still not out of this. He's been performing extremely well. But for now, the lead has changed pretty sizably. Ooh. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he is having his own trouble. He's tried the first skip with the Tree of Mean, and the tree was very mean. Oh, and his second try doesn't go very well either. This is a very difficult skip if you're trying it the way IMtendo is trying it. JKB says he's not going for the difficult strats anymore. He is just getting that cap, and he is going to punch Bowser's face. So JKB, he finishes up the Bowser fight. IMtendo, oh no, he is having a very difficult time with this skip, unfortunately. These two runners are separated by about a minute right now. At least they were at the end of the Cloud Kingdom, but IMtendo's troubles with his tree could bring the two runners much closer together again. There we go, 4th time's the charm. IMtendo has crossed the giant chasm, and he's on his way to completing the rest of the Lost Kingdom. JKB, meanwhile, he gets the skip first try, and now we have a very hotly contested match. IMtendo hitting a butterfly, a very rare and endangered butterfly that should not be attacked by caps. JKB does the same thing, completely shameless, extracting the moon from it. Anyhow, the reason that these two runners are taking this long, circuitous route around the level is that if you proceed forward normally, a bird will come by and steal your hat. But as IMtendo just did on his screen, if you go around the long way and you fly close enough to the bird whose name I can't remember, he will fly away and you are free to explore the level without fear of Cappy being captured. The only difficulty is that if you accidentally die, Klepto, his name is Klepto, sorry, resets, and then you have to worry about your hat being captured all over again. Thank you, Nakloak. Here we go, IMtendo going for a slightly more difficult moon by opening up this cage here. Seems to get it no problem. And now we get to see what he tries to do under this bridge. Oh wow, very nice roll to get this moon, and it looks like he's going to be able to recover and not take a death. And he's on his way out of the Lost Kingdom. Bonk. JKB looks like he's got his hat on his head. He can do the same thing. He does. 2 deathless bridges from these two runners. Very nicely done. And now this is an extremely close race with IMtendo taking a slight lead. Getting an exact time here. 10 seconds separating these two runners with IMtendo slightly in the lead. And now we are going to go into Dark Metro, which is one of the most difficult parts of the run. This is the area where there is a lot of potential for big time losses if you screw it up, which unfortunately some people do a lot of, like myself. For these two runners, I'm sure this is a thoroughly practiced area, so we get to see how well they do it. So though, just one dropped input. I am going to stop talking about how easily this can go pear-shaped, just in case one of them is listening and I'm making them horribly nervous. IMtendo easily gets the first building skip, and he's trying this long jump onto this girder, and he manages it just fine. That is a bit of a tricky jump, but it can save you some good time. You don't have to climb up the girder, you don't have to get on top of this one here building. JKB is taking the safer route, and he is climbing up on top of the building before going to this moon. And IMtendo gets inside City Hall, and now we get to see some tricky platforming. I think what we're going to see is him, yep, just, oh, almost made it. He's just going to try climbing straight up this wall. Having a little bit of trouble pulling it off, which is unfortunate. JKB gets it though, and they get onto these platforms at just about the same time. And look at this, we have a neck-and-neck race in Dark Metro. This is everything I could have hoped for. Both of them getting the moon from the chest pretty easily, and now they have to do a risky jump. Why does everyone do this while turning the camera? It's so much scarier. But both of them get the jump easily, and they make it out of the tower without any major issues. And so now both of them are going to be moving on to the Mecha Wiggler. Oh no! Oh, I didn't even see what happened! What on earth was that? Poor JKB, he is losing a bit of time here. And so he's going to have to make this up in the Wiggler fight. Oh man, he tried to jump out of the wire a little too early, and it did not pay off for him. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he managed to destroy the first phase, and what you're going to see him doing here in this little tank is moving to specific parts of the level of the battle arena in order to minimize the amount of time that the Mecha Wiggler is spent transporting himself from one wall to the other. He'll appear in one portal, run across the map, and disappear into another portal on a different wall. So what they both try and do is minimize the amount of time spent walking to save a little bit of time. IMtendo working on the second phase, which can be very tricky, but it looks like he's gonna... Oh, come on, get that second one. Oh boy, IMtendo does not get the 2 cycle, unfortunately. He's gonna have to spend a little bit more time here to get the final little bit of the Mecha Wiggler. This can be a very difficult fight. Just the aiming is much more precise than it looks. You have to lead your shots a little bit. IMtendo takes out the Mecha Wiggler after 3 phases. JKB, in the meantime, was able to get a 2 phase. Good for him. So the lead has changed again, as it's probably going to do a couple more times over the course of the race. Yes, these lead changes, though, indeed. It is really something to watch. So there we go. Both players are now out of Dark Metro and into the much more reasonable Light Metro, where you just have a joyous romp around the city, making friends, playing with cars, and getting moons. So JKB is going to start. Yep. Looks like he's going to get a very nice hat teleport here to quickly bring him back to the wire. And let's see what his strategy is going to be for the RC car. He is going to hop on the scooter and he is going to try the skip. Lining himself up. Misses the first try. Let's try this again. Up, and he clips through on the second try and gets that moon. Nicely done. The other option, of course, is to do this the intended way. Looks like neither of these players are doing the intended way because that is for scrubs. And IMtendo gets the skip on his first try. Very nicely done. JKB launching himself to a friend. Very efficient friendship right there from JKB. Got it as soon as he landed on the bench. IMtendo, he's trying to pound this moon as quickly as he can so that he can do a hat teleport over to the pylon. And he also gets a one-shot friendship. Very nicely done. Your first time seeing Scooter Clip, it is something to behold. I mean, like, it seems like when you watch it happening, it's sort of like, wow, how did we take so long to think of this? But it is very finicky, and you need to be pretty precise, as JKB showed us. JKB gets the tall trash can. And he gets this second moon without much trouble here. So now he's going to be making his way to the very top of the New Donk City Empire State Tower. IMtendo, in the meantime, he gets the trash can. He gets the trash taken out easily. JKB gets a bit of a bonk, while IMtendo gets, another bonk. JKB having a slight amount of trouble getting up here, but there we go. Now he's in the climbing phase, and he's going to make his way to the top of the tower. But again, that's another opportunity for IMtendo, and IMtendo has an extremely nice climb. He is going to get himself some time save right there. So now the next couple of moons are a little bit straightforward. We're going to dive off this tower here, try and pound in the right place. That moon is a little finicky because all of the items that you need in order to properly track your position do not spawn in until you're at a certain distance from the moon. Meanwhile, JKB, he is starting the... Oh, and he does it very easily. That takes no time at all. This can be a tricky and slow moon if you don't know the trick. But both of these players do know the trick, which is to just roll along the right wall and nobody will bother you. So both of these two players, they are extremely close to each other, getting almost in the moon get cutscene at the same time. Look at this overlap. Meanwhile, we're going to need to find some musicians for Pauline. Does anyone see a musician? Does Pauline see a musician anywhere? Oh, here's one. So yeah, look at how close these two runners are right now. What is world record? I believe the world record is in the 104s. I will give that a quick check. I don't think either of these players are going to be able to pull off a world record. That's something that is going to be extremely hard to do in a tournament setting because it involves very difficult and risky skips. So it's not generally worth it to try. Well, I mean, I guess if you're up against a world record holder, you might as well go for it. There we go. We've got double OTEP on the screen all the way across the sky. Very nice from both players. And it looks like they're going to exit Metro Kingdom within mere seconds of each other. The world record right now is 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 43 seconds, held by Nadia S. You got it 3 days ago. These two runners are 2 seconds apart. This is an excellent race, everybody. OTEP. What does OTEP mean? OTEP is love. OTEP is life. OTEP is the sound that the bass player appears to make when you first talk to him. So that is what OTEP means. I don't know why OTEP caught on and not yay, but I don't understand how the internet works. It looks like JKB is going first to the Snow Kingdom, which makes perfect sense. He's got the coins for it. Right here, basically you have your decision between the Snow Kingdom and the Seaside Kingdom. Snow Kingdom is the one selected by default, but if you don't have 100 coins, you aren't going to be able to buy the moon that is needed in the Snow Kingdom. So sometimes if people are severely lacking in coins, they will change tack and go to the Seaside Kingdom first, because you can pick up a good 40 to 50 coins there without any trouble at all. Both players find Captain Toad pretty easily and break his igloo, sentencing him to a terrible frozen death. Both of them climb over this wall pretty easily and get into Shiveria Town. Oh, the double OTEP. I'm combining memes into a horrible meme monstrosity Frankenstein. Look at that. Look at that sync. Both got the same "you got a moon" on the screen at the same time. And now they're going to go into the hat store and buy the final bought moon of the run. Which means after this point, none of them have to worry about coins. So, before this point, if you started to take too many unnecessary deaths, you were going to be in real trouble, because each time you lose 10 coins. If you died too many times, you're not going to have the coins you need for these moons. It looks like neither of them are going to have that problem. So now we're starting with this little bridge jump over here. IMtendo gets it slightly faster. These two are just trading off little tiny mistakes here and there, making up sometime, losing sometime. This is like the longest I have seen a race be consistently close. You know, like, look at the sync on these two players. This is amazing. So now we are going to go into the first, and just like that, a single bonk, and the lead changes because that's how close they are. But it's probably going to happen again before we leave the kingdom. Both of them getting up to the top of this wall pretty easily. Less than a second separating these two at this point. This is amazing to watch. Alright, both of them have their two separate methods of clearing out the spinies, which seems to have worked well for both of them. That is the most sync I have ever seen in any Mario Odyssey race. This is truly extraordinary, and I don't mean to keep harping on it, but it's so cool to see. So now, pure execution will win the day. Open, there's a bonk. In any case, this kingdom is a little bit slow because there are so many moons there that are so spaced out from each other, and so many moons you have to get, which require you to look at a long cutscene of a door opening. And so that can make this Snow Kingdom a lot slower than the Seaside Kingdom, which comes next, even though both of them have 10 moons. The Seaside moons are just closer together, and there's no cutscenes constantly spoiling the fun. JKB going for a longer version of this chasm skip. He gets it. IMtendo, he gets it as well. And my laptop just sort of deciding to go to a black screen. Hey, Frickelmeister, thank you. I am glad that my commentary is high quality because it is like 7 in the morning here. And both of them going off to the final room with IMtendo very, very slightly ahead. There is one more moon in here. They're both going to be grabbing a secret moon because the alternative is, I believe, the Rango fight again, which is super slow and nobody wants that. And that's more moons than we need. So now both of them are out of the Snow Kingdom at more or less the same time, while JKB here saves himself a video clip for later. And yeah, you two can see how close they are. It is... Look at that sync. They're right next to each other. There's no point measuring this at this point. So now off we go to the Seaside Kingdom. We will see... Lost time in the menu, lost lead in the menu. Everything is important. Practice your menuing. Seriously though, if you are trying to speed your way through a cutscene, make sure you are hammering the start button before the cutscene is actually started. It does save you time, and it does get you to the skip cutscene screen faster. Practice your menuing. Alright, both of them trying out this first skip, getting it pretty easy. And this wall climb here can be very tricky, both of them taking slightly different routes to it, but both of them getting there without any trouble. Very nice, and now here's pretty much a free moon, where you just pound the ground in the right location and it pops right out. They're just buried in the sand. Who is burying these moons in the sand? These are valuable resources. You can power a city. Alright, so JKB, he is making his... Oh, he takes a small bonk, and the lead has changed once again from a single bonk. They're climbing their way through this room. You're supposed to be using the weird water octopus creature to get through this room, but because every tech in this game is broken, we can just go right up there with Mario and take the moon for ourselves. And now both players are going to be trying a slightly tricky note moon. If you're lined up very easily, then the moon goes no problem whatsoever. But if you veer off course and miss any of those notes, then you have to do the walk of shame or the swim of shame back to land and try a second time. Both of them getting this creature at the same time I don't know the name of. One time I was doing this run, and for some reason the creature simply wasn't there, and it was very bizarre because I never see behavior like that usually. I don't know what caused it, but yeah, it's amazing how consistent this game is from run to run. There is almost no RNG whatsoever to contend with. There's no RPG either. And right here, both of them getting this moon at about the same time, and you can see all of the coins they're picking up. Those are the coins that you would get if you're at the branch between the Snow Kingdom and the Seaside Kingdom, and you don't have enough coins to go to the Snow Kingdom. That particular tunnel is why you get enough coins through the Seaside Kingdom. There's like 40 coins in there. IMtendo trying his hand at the northernmost moon over here. Gets it without much trouble. Seaweed not giving him any trouble at all. And now he is going down. He's going to look into this chasm. Some very small opportunities for movement optimization in this little narrow path. If you can start moving at the right time, start descending at the right time. And both of them get out of the Seaside Kingdom at just about the same time, with IMtendo having a very small, negligibly small lead at this point. So this is my last time to explain this, but you would have seen people, these two runners, they would dash with their Cheep Cheep and spin around before they started moving up or down. The reason for that is normally if you start ascending or descending, there is a small window in which you move a little more slowly before you start moving up or down. But if you press both the ascend and descend buttons at the same time, you will do a spin before you start ascending or descending, and you will maintain your speed throughout, so it is slightly faster to do it that way. Yeah, if you just came in, Sir Slugma, you missed the most perfect sync I have ever seen in a Mario Odyssey tournament. It was extraordinary. Anyway, here we are in the Lungeon Kingdom, which is one of the last very difficult kingdoms. You need to pick up 18 moons in here, and some of them are very tricky to optimize. IMtendo's starting off with a very nice salt skip. JKB also having a salt skip. They do it in slightly different ways. There are a few different tactics you can try for this skip, but all of them are quite fast. Both of them easily making their way across the lava. Oh, he bonks a little bit, but it doesn't matter because he falls into the moon. Oh no, IMtendo, get back up, don't die. And IMtendo, he misses a jump and he loses only a couple of seconds, but it's enough to trade the lead once again. Meantime, here we are in the Spirit refight, which is the exact same as before. In the game proper, it's supposed to be different because you're in a differently shaped arena and Spirit bounces off of the walls, but because we don't even let him bounce off the walls, it is functionally an identical fight. Excuse me, sorry. I briefly turned into an old man. Have we ever seen me and IMtendo in the same room? JKB, I have never seen you or IMtendo in any room, so for all I know, you're both the same non-existent person. Anyway, JKB is off to get a very quick and easy moon. Instead of doing this puzzle with the moon shards, he's just gonna hop back here and get this moon that was just hiding. Very fast, only a few seconds. If you're getting any other moons other than that, you are a chump. This moon is just free. Hopping up the wall slightly to make his way across the chasm, IMtendo takes a different strategy and he's going to roll up the wall. Oh my goodness, that was super dangerous, but what a great recovery from IMtendo. Lost basically no time at all. Now JKB does have a slight lead as he makes his way into town, over to the food festival. Right there where you can see is him using his hat and using the homing feature to break open a box that has a moon hidden in it without looking. 360 no scope, very nicely done. JKB from downtown, but he misses. Let's see if IMtendo can get the three-pointer with his golden turnip. Oh, he doesn't do it either. I've actually never seen anyone do that from downtown, so it's a tricky throw. Oh no, oh come on, oh no! JKB missing his jump, and he lands in the lava and he's unable to make it to the island in time. And he starts back here. Oh, that's a very unfortunate time loss for him. But he is going to be using some backup strats, so he's not going to lose nearly as much time as I thought. This is one of those things that separates the pro runners from the scrubs. The backup strats. Look how quickly he gets himself back there. That's excellent. IMtendo, meanwhile, he is in the forks room, and so we're going to see how quickly he can climb up some forks. There are two different routes that you can go through. There's the fork room and there's the magma room. It looks like both players are going for the forks room, which as I understand it is very slightly faster than the magma room. I always take the magma room just because I like it. IMtendo having a very clean climb. JKB also having no trouble at all, getting up there, getting that second moon. Now, does JKB have time to comment in chat while running the game? This is a little known fact about JKB, he has 4 hands. Yeah, he doesn't like to tell people, but yeah, it helps a lot. IMtendo, he is over here, he's capturing a pan bro, so he is going to try and break open this block of cheese and find the switch within. Meanwhile, the JKB, he's doing a totally different strat, and he's getting a second golden turnip. He is going to try the cheese skip, which I have only seen a couple of times. By a couple of times, I mean only one time. What you need to do here is set up this turnip, hop into this pan bro, and then hop in and out in such a way that the pan bro sort of phases his way into the cage. It can be very tricky to pull off. Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble here. Did not get in this time. Oh, he's losing a little bit of time on this skip, it looks like. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he doesn't have to go to the mag room, as we established. And so he is climbing up this mountain. And he is about to go and get the Grand Moon for this world, the easiest Grand Moon in any world, because the only one I know of where you don't have to fight a boss. There we go, JKB, he clips into the cage, wedging the pan bro between the turnip and the cage, and the pan bro just phases right in upon capture. And so he doesn't have to do the cheese skip at all. But now Mario is trapped in this cage forever and ever, preserved for eternity, as a monument to the Mushroom Kingdom's greatest hero. Just kidding. There's only one-way collision on these walls. So, JKB is going to be getting the last few moons, but IMtendo is now on his way out of the Luncheon Kingdom. Yeah, it is a new skip, and if you can pull it off on your first try, it does save time. But if you don't manage to pull it off like many other skips, it is a bit of a time loss. IMtendo getting the boosh at 52:15. The boosh is what I call it when the balloon expands outward with your new moons. I'm trying to make it catch on, I don't think it will. JKB, he gets into the giant pot of soup and he gets the final moons. So after a couple more cutscene skips, he's going to be on his way to the Bowser Kingdom. IMtendo's currently on his way to the Bowser Kingdom. Wait a second, what's going on? Uh-oh, it looks like IMtendo has been derailed somehow. He's got to do a whole nother kingdom. This is going to be a big time loss for him, unfortunately. So he's just going to roll up here and see what was causing all this disturbance on the Odyssey. I don't know how this building is standing. And here we go. There is an inexplicable fight against a giant Dark Souls dragon in the middle of this game. And so, this is going... It looks like IMtendo is preparing to take some damage boost strats. Yes, he is. So what he's going to do here, he is hopping on top of this dragon's nose while it's still electrified, so he can wait for the precise exact moment where he can start attacking. The dragon is not vulnerable until the electricity has disappeared, and so he's just waiting there in place, damage boosting, and waiting for the first possible opportunity to start pulling out some of these keys. And this is why he was summoning some of these hearts earlier. JKB also derailed and has to go to the Ruined Kingdom, that's unfortunate. IMtendo having a little bit of trouble getting on the head the second time, but it doesn't lose much time. The thing about this kingdom is that because so much of this boss fight is on rails, it's really hard to lose a lot of time here unless you just completely die, which is rare. So you could have a really good fight, and you could have a really bad fight, and they may only be separated by a few seconds, just because of the nature of this boss fight. Looks like JKB is also doing the damage boost strat. The damage boost strat, the only time it's really dangerous is on the final phase of this boss, because in addition to the electricity, you also have these little weird spike enemies that can start popping up and giving you trouble. JKB doing some swag strats, making some of these electricity wheels fall to their doom. JKB has a nice damage boost there. This fight's going very well for him. Meanwhile, IMtendo is on his way out. This lead has changed so many times in this run, and I would not be surprised if it changed one more time before the run is out. Or it could just be like this. This is not a small lead that IMtendo has procured. I'm going to get some exact timing for you guys shortly. JKB, oh, he's in a dangerous spot. He can only take one. Nope, he's fine. Could have been really bad if he had taken some damage there. If you die in this fight, that is minutes lost, I want to say, because the whole thing's on basically an auto-scroller. So good on JKB for not dying. Meanwhile, IMtendo has entered the Bowser Kingdom. This is purportedly the final kingdom of the game, and so you are not shown how many moons you actually need. But as it turns out, just going straight through the kingdom and getting only the story moons will not get you enough moons to get out of this kingdom. So we're going to see them getting some extra moons here. IMtendo decides not to get the first moon behind that wall, which is fine. They need to pick, each of them needs to pick up 2 extra moons before they are done with the Bowser Kingdom. Wow, that's a great ogre kill from IMtendo right there. Very nicely done. These 2 runners are separated by just about 1 minute, which is not a small lead, but I think this could go either way, especially if there is a bad Mecha Brutal fight on the horizon. Anyway, there are several extra moons that you can pick up here. I think there's 4 to 5. And you basically have your choice of which ones you want to pick up, because they're all roughly as fast as each other. So there's which route you take, it just comes down to preference. IMtendo starts picking up the moon shards here. He's going to skip his way over to this wall here, which I see a lot of. He's going to grab this moon shard behind this wall. Instead of going way out and around, he just goes up and over, and he gets it on his way, which is the fastest way that I know of. JKB getting his ogre kill. Let's see, IMtendo, what's he going to do? Nope, he's not going to get the moon in the wall. So he's picked up 0 extra moons so far, so this doesn't leave him with too many options left. JKB, meanwhile, where he is 1 gate behind. IMtendo will go for Pipe-a-Moon. Yeah, I think that's one of the ones he has to go for now. He's also climbing over this wall here. So here's a question I have that chat might be able to answer. What happens if you don't get the moon shards and just go over that wall? Are the boss fights just not active so you can't complete the level? Oh no! Oh, JKB has a nasty fall. He is going to lose a little bit of time there. That's very unfortunate. Meanwhile, he keeps his moon shards, so it's not as big a deal as it could have been. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he is on the first and only instance of us fighting the final brutal Harriet, which I don't like so much because this is my favorite fight and I wish we did it twice. Anyway, the plan is to take these bombs that she's throwing and be in the precise right spot to knock them back at her and save a phase. After 2 failed attempts at the jumping one, he decides to go for the ground-based one. Normally you just deal with the bombs, and eventually she pulls out 2 larger bombs that are much easier to hit. But like so many other things in this game, the developers just threw in extra strats that you can take to make these bosses go faster. They intentionally made this a very speedrun friendly game, and we're all thankful to them for that. I want to see a bunch of thank yous in chat to the developers for making this a speedrun friendly game. Meanwhile, IMtendo, he is now on his topper fight. And it's much more difficult now because there are far more hats. And, ooh, he does not get that second bounce. Yep, he's able to find Topper without too much trouble. This is a very difficult fight right here. I am not going to lie. Oh, and IMtendo takes a death. Oh, and now the lead has shrunk so considerably. This is still anyone's race. It has always been anyone's race. In the chat, appropriately thanking the developers. Thank you, everybody. That death on Topper is going to cut into IMtendo's lead severely. It's a very difficult fight. Picking up the first hat bounce isn't too bad, but finding Topper in that second sea of hats is really not very easy. IMtendo has a much better fight the second time around. Well done. JKB still has to go to the Harriet fight though, and IMtendo can simply make his way forward. So there's still a little bit of a lead here, but it can definitely be picked up. And both of these players still have to get 1 extra moon from it. Looks like they're going to be doing the pipe moon behind the wall in the next section of the game. Alright, the chat saying the electrical pylon behind the wall does not spawn if you just jump straight over the wall. That's good to know. Thank you, everybody. That's a good way of making sure your game can't be sequence broke too easily. So IMtendo begins the final climb in this Bowser Kingdom. And he is going to dangerously hop right behind here. And he has no trouble breaking open that box and getting to this last moon he needs. So now he can just make his way clear up to the boss. And I think JKB is going to end up trying the same thing. And from here, we've got the Mario platforming part down pretty easily. IMtendo skips past the ogre, and now basically the rest of this level is Pokio climbing. And that's a very nice automatic moving wall from IMtendo. JKB also gets the pipe moon without any trouble at all. Well done, JKB. And so now we come to what I feel is the hardest thing in the game to speedrun, which is the Mecha Brutal fight. See, what you're supposed to do is get a Pokio bird and shoot bombs back to try and crumble this thing's legs. But that is for slow people, and we will not be playing this game slow. So it looks like IMtendo gets the first Brutal birdless, very nicely done, by climbing up that leg. And he gets the second Brutal in no time at all as well. So now he's got to... It is more difficult than it looks like to jump your way back to the Mecha Brutal after it launches you off. You are slightly farther away than you think. Anyway, right here he's in a phase where the Mecha Brutal can't take damage until it stops rampaging. Oop, and he slightly misses the pound on that third Brutal, so now this is going to be a bit of a difficult recovery. Let's see. Oh, but he pulls off the backup strat without much trouble. Meanwhile, JKB also manages to get up there very easily. And IMtendo finishes the Mecha Brutal. He's about 2 Brutals ahead of JKB. Whatever that translates to in seconds. I'm going to stop measuring so that we can increase the suspense. Oh yes, Walter Helsing keeping me honest. You can grab a Pokio and simply use the beak to climb up the legs. It is slightly slower than the fastest strat, but slightly faster than the slowest strat, which would put it in the middle. And meanwhile, JKB, he just finished the Mecha Brutal. So you can see how close these two are. They're separated by a Mecha Brutal death cutscene. So now it's all going to come down to the final kingdom, how they execute the moon skip and the Bowser boss fight. Yes, it's still a very, very close race. This could go either way. All depends on pure execution. IMtendo feeding in the final 8 moves. And the Odyssey, his Odyssey is almost complete. Almost. Okay, now it's complete. And so he's going to be going off to the Moon Kingdom. JKB not too far behind. Just has to deposit his winnings. I sound like Gene from Bob's Burgers. The other thing I've been compared to is Kermit the Frog when I did my Shantae run. 20 seconds, 29 seconds. I am not going to measure. I am going to keep the audience and the runners in some level of suspense here. Still anyone's game. This is still IMtendo. This is a not small lead for him. But as we've seen so many times, they need to be at the top of their game in order to make sure that the positions stay where they are. Chat is now engaged in furious debate as to who I sound like. I feel that I just sound like me, but that's just me. IMtendo is now off on his way. Narrowly avoids that spike thing. Very nicely done. Let's see, how many flowers is he going to pick up? He picks up 2 of the speed flowers, and he does it really nicely, too. So that's going to give him the super speed a little bit longer than it would otherwise. And now he's going to try Moon Skip. This is a very precise jumping skip that requires you to be landing in very specific positions on these walls, and he gets it without issue on his second try. And he bounces up to this bridge, and he is off to the chapel. JKB picks up only 1 flower, makes his way to the Sphinx. He's going to try Moon Skip as well, as IMtendo enters the cutscenes right before the game's final boss. JKB, he gets a first try Moon Skip as well, and he very quickly makes his way up onto the bridge. And so now the final fight begins. Because this fight starts with with Bowser's hat being thrown at you, there's really no way to speed it up that much. You just gotta nab the hat, long jump, keep going. So this right here is one of the major differences between the previous Bowser fight and this one, which is that there's this somewhat long auto-scroller sequence of Bowser shooting fire at you. There we go, IMtendo gets the quick cap on his second phase. Nicely done. Good for him. This fight is going very well for both players so far. Let's see what JKB can do with his second cap. He gets it no problem. IMtendo, he's got 1 final cap to get before this fight is over. He's going to damage boost because that is a common strat. It's a way of slightly securing the cap a little easier. And it looks like he's got the cap just fine, so as long as he doesn't take damage. Yep, and he is out of here. So JKB still has 1 more damage phase to go, while IMtendo is making his way to the moon escape. Notice that he does not lose any time having damage here because his health is automatically set to 6. So now you're playing as Bowser, and you've got fireballs, and you've got claws, and you need to bash your way through a bunch of walls in order to escape. JKB, he misses a cutscene skip a little bit too early, but that doesn't lose much time. Here's one skip you can do pretty easy, is this triple jump here to make your way up and not have to go up and around, and that saves a few seconds. So IMtendo now moves into the 2D section of the game, and we'll see if he attempts to pull off another famous skip. It looks like he is not. He is taking the secure route, and he is just going forward. JKB, we'll see what he does. IMtendo having a pretty clean 2D section. That face one no skip though. But it makes sense. He's got a lead, and the 2D skip is something that can save you a couple of seconds but can cost you up to 45. JKB on his screen going for it, and he makes it look like child's play. Very nicely done. And now IMtendo is in the final anime section of the game. So he's got to knock down all 4 of these pillars to destroy the central moon rock. What he's doing right here is a common tactic of sort of priming the rightmost pillar there. So he's gonna knock it down most of the way, take it down. JKB is also entering this section. So we'll see if IMtendo gets this clean or not. I think this is IMtendo's race to lose at this point. And right there, because he primed that pillar with fireballs, it goes down very easily, and he can directly make his way to the center without having to contend with much of the falling floor. And IMtendo hops into the pylon, and it looks like he is going to be our race winner. His in-game timer saying 1:11:08, which is really an excellent time. JKB is not going to be that far behind. Well done. Congratulations to IMtendo. Excellent match from both of you. Really well done. And JKB is finished as well with a 1:11:28. I cannot see their SRL times. You didn't know you could shoot fireballs? Yeah, motion controls with Bowser will shoot fireballs. That was one of the most tense and one of the most hype races I have seen in this entire tournament so far. Let's see if either of these two want to come in for an interview, maybe. See if we can bring them in, but well done to both of them. That was... Hello there. See you just... Hey, both of you are here. Hey guys, congratulations to both of you on an excellent match.
Thank you.
Well done. JKB, can you speak? Looks like JKB might be having some mic troubles here. Looks like it's lighting up like he's trying to speak, but we're not hearing anything.
Uh-oh.
How's that?
Oh, that's
there
better.
we go. That is,
All right, cool.
Yeah, that was an excellent race from both of you. How are two of you feeling? JKB, how are you feeling?
I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Losing a race to a soft lock kind of blows.
Yeah, that was really painful to watch. That is a big time loss.
A
It's
soft lock?
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Where's
soft lock
soft lock?
cloud.
Oh,
Yeah, I had to save and then warp back to like saved file over to another file and then load it up. Supposedly you can get hit out of it by the boulders and it wouldn't have been as bad, but I haven't had that happen before, so didn't know.
Yeah, you sort of have to decide on the fly what is the fastest option going to be. It was a difficult decision, and I'm sorry that happened. IMtendo, how are you feeling about this race? How well do you think you did?
well, not very well, to say the least.
Yeah,
It was about 3 minutes off my PB. I knew it was going to be a close race coming into this, but I didn't think it would be close around the 1:11 mark, to say the least.
Yeah, it was. There were portions of the race. I don't know if you were listening. You guys were basically in exact frame sync, so it was a very tense and close race. So you should both be proud of the performance you put on.
Yeah, so it was a good start, and then yeah,
Yeah,
there's not really a whole lot to say about it.
there are troubles back and forth.
I
So-
did gold my moon split, so I guess that's at least, a positive side.
Oh, that's something. So, JKB, what are your plans for this game? You're within striking distance of the top of the leaderboard. You think you're going to keep going for the best times? JKB.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna probably try and do some other categories too. I've kind of messed with some other stuff over the past few weeks, and they're pretty fun. World Peace is decent, if not for all the clips that you have to do, and then Dark Side is pretty fun too. So.
All right, cool. That sounds like it'll be fun. I have not seen a Dark Side run in a good while. It's good to hear. IMtendo, you're going to be able to move on in the tournament. How are you feeling by your chances going forward?
Well, after that last display, I don't feel good about going up against either Valu or Okra, who would need to beat Valu. But I guess miracles can happen.
Well, anything can happen. There was a lot happening in this particular race. Oh, doing okay there?
That wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah, I don't know.
the person who did cough is doing okay.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let's see, I am very bad at interviews, but I don't know, is there anything else either of you want to say before we end up turning the stream off?
No, I'm pretty good to go. I'm probably gonna take a break for a bit and probably just start doing runs again this weekend, but other than that...
Yeah, same for me.
That's fair. Guys there's a good wait before the next round, I think. And yeah, I totally feel you. Can be like, how much have you guys been running this game in preparation for this match?
Quite a bit each night for the past week or so.
All right. IMtendo.
Yeah, I did like at least one run a day, except for Friday, pretty much. So I did put a decent amount of work into it. Bit disappointing that we were both off our PB by like 3 minutes to unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, there was some unfortunate going on in both streams for sure. Yeah, I think the soft lock was probably the most unfortunate thing. That was very rough to see, I'm afraid. Right, but I don't know, both of you guys, you both had a great display. 111 is not a time to be that unhappy about. It puts you above most of the people running this game. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, not really.
No, I already put it in the chat, but it does not look like there's any more scheduled matches for today. At least as of right now, it's possible that there's like some kind of impromptu match, but it probably won't be streamed if there is. So.
Yeah, I don't think so. It looks like there's going to be 3 matches coming up on February 1st. So tune in then if you want to see a lot of Mario Odyssey. But looks like for the next few days, things are going to be pretty chill. So yeah, I think this is going to be it. Thank you guys, both of you, for a really exciting race. I know it was a bit disappointing for the two of you, but it was really exciting to watch. So thank you both for that.
Thank you for commentating.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course. All right. So, looks like there aren't any other races going on speed gaming right now, but we've always got several tournaments going on, and I'm sure these channels are going to be turning on again sometime throughout the day. In addition to the Super Mario Odyssey Any Percent tournament, we have Link to the Past randomizer. I think that's still going on. There's a Legend of Zelda randomizer. There's a Mega Man X tournament. There's always something going on to the speed gaming channels, so give all 4 of them a follow. Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 2, 3, and 4. One of those things is almost always lit up at some point during the day. So go ahead and watch those, follow those, keep an eye out for more matches. and hopefully we'll see you guys for the next match, probably on Thursday, maybe earlier. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thanks to the runners, thanks to the people behind the scenes keeping the stream going, and we will see you guys next time.